भगवती तव तीरे नीरवद्रशनोऽहं भगवती तव तीरे नीरवद्रशनोऽहं विगतविषयतृष्णा कृष्णमाराधयामि विगतविषयतृष्णा कृष्णमाराधयामि.
Thank you everyone for your kind patience. We have our honorable guest for the session. We will just want to start with the anthem of the Inauguration. Please. Within a few seconds. presentation from the Namami Gange Ministry of Jal Shakti. We are honored and thankful to you for this set of work. And as they say, unity in diversity, the country of India is noted by Ma Ganga. With all her blessings, we are trying our level best to set forth with the first ever International River Congress.
Good afternoon, namaskaram, and a very hearty welcome. My name is Antara Kundu, and we will be your host for the evening. On behalf of South Asian Institute for Advanced Research and Development, we thank each and every delegates, dignitaries, speakers, and participants for presiding over the first day of this very first International River Congress, and thank you for joining us today.
On this note, we would also like to extend our thanks to our strategic sponsors, Namami Gange, National Institute of Urban Affairs, NACMO, Skynet, and yes, CIFRE, German Corporation, and also the Anthropological Survey of India.
I would also like to thank our knowledge partners, IMD, USDMA, Bihar State Disaster Management Authority, Sikkim State Disaster Management Authority, Central Water Commission, Uttar Pradesh State Disaster Management Authority, IRRS, NISAC, TERI, UTEC, Sri Shiksha College, Geomatics, IIGST, and IDG News.
So let's begin with the proceedings of our day. On this note, I would like to invite on stage our Director of Academics, Mr. Arindam Ray, to SAIARD. Mr. Ray.
Good afternoon. I extend warm welcome to all the delegates, policymakers, various professionals, participants, and team members of SAIARD. Finally, the wait is over, and we are about to witness the historic moment when the first ever International River Congress rolls out. Although SAIARD is the principal organizer of International River Congress, yet the support received from the National Mission for Clean Ganga and National Institute of Urban Affairs is incomparable. In addition to International River Congress, the event is also commemorates the 75 Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. It is a well-known fact that rivers are an integral part of our lives, and history reveals that the major civilizations like Indus Valley, Harappa have developed the best on rivers. Rivers are linked to the development of livelihood, tourism, agriculture, industry, trade and commerce, to name a few. We are blessed that India is drained by several rivers, but currently many of these rivers are losing their natural characteristics. The primary aim of organizing International River Congress is to draw up to consolidation between the researchers and policymakers on maintaining of inherent features of rivers, their rejuvenation and protecting them from getting polluted. I want to express my heartfelt thanks to Anthropological Survey of India, who has contributed immensely to the noble endeavor by providing us the venue. Before progressing further into the program, I would like to request all to stand up and observe a moment of silence in respect of CBS General Bipin Rawat and his team. So please, everyone. Thank you for the cooperation. You may take your seats now. Okay. Now I would like to call Ms. Antara Kundu and Mr. Devajyoti Molli to take us further through the event.
Well, thank you, Mr. Arindam Ray. May we now please invite our delegates on stage. We'll start Dr. Bishwajit Roy Choudhury, the founder chairperson of SAIARD and IIGST. So please come over the stage along with the guests. He will be followed by His Lordship Honorable Justice B. Amit Talekar, Judicial Member, National Green Tribunal, Eastern Zone Bench, Kolkata.
Sri Shoiba Dasgupta, Honorable Expert Member, National Green Tribunal, Eastern Zone Bench, Kolkata.
Mr. Nakamura Utaka, Honorable Consulate General of Japan, Kolkata.
Dr. Gomri Vasu, Director, Anthropological Survey of India, Government of India.
Thank you so much, everybody. We would like to request our guests to come forward and lighten the lamp. And can we now request our executive to help them with the candles? I'd like to request our executive to come forward with the candles.
Can we have a round of applause, please?
Thank you, everybody. Please take your seat.
Now I would like to request Mr. Varindra Bray kindly come on stage. Varindra. Kindly, Varindra, take some time to just felicitate our honorable chairperson, Dr. Vishnu Roy Chaudhary. Sir.
Now, I request Dr. Vishnu Roy Chaudhary to felicitate our today's guests. At first, we have His Lordship Honorable Justice B. Amit Salekar, Judicial Member, National Green Tribunal, Eastern Zone, Kolkata.
Sir, followed by Sri Shoibal Dashgupta, Honorable Expert Member, National Green Tribunal.
Pardon.
Pardon. May I please request Mr. Vishwajit Roy Chaudhary to felicitate Sri Shoibal Bashru to Honorable Expert Member National Green Tribunal Eastern Zone Bench, Kolkata.
Thank you, sir. May I now request Dr. Aparna Bera Roy Chaudhary, Vice Chairperson SAIARD, to come up on the stage and felicitate our next guests. Please, ma'am, come up on the stage. I'd like to request Dr. Aparna Bera Roy Chaudhary to felicitate Mr. Nakamura Utaka, Honorable Consulate General of Japan in Kolkata. I'd also like to request Dr. Aparna Bera Roy Chaudhary to felicitate Dr. Gauri Vasu, Director, Anthropological Survey of India, Government of India. Thank you, everybody. Today, our chief guest, Honorable Cabinet Minister Sri Gajendra Singh Shekhawat, Ministry of Jal Shakti, Government of India, is unavailable due to some emergency issues, but he has sent his good wishes with a letter. I'd like to request Debojyoti to convey his message to everybody.
Thank you, Antara. This is the letter from Mr. Shekhawat, our Honorable Minister of Jal Shakti, Government of India, on his notepad dated on 13th December 2021. The first International River Congress 2021, being organized by South Asian Institute of Advanced Research and Development, where many national and international experts, stakeholders and investors will deliberate upon river resource planning and management, is highly welcome. At this juncture in India's development, our country faces many unsolved problems, but we have the ability to turn the adversities into opportunities. Opportunities and leapfrog over the pitfalls of other nations in water resources management. One of the major problems that has escalated in India for decades is that of water, both water shortage and progress. Added to this problem are high levels of pollution and deterioration of our rivers. We keep forgetting that rivers are the lifeline of any kind of civilization. They play a vital role in sustaining the life in the planet. But of late, it has been seen that our perennial rivers are losing their identity. Some of them have even dried up and are on the verge of extinction. They are in a very bad phase right now. We need to protect our rivers. Most of the rivers have converted into drains. They are covered with so much filth that they cannot be considered as the source of fresh water anymore. Water pollution has become a burning topic in our country, India. The government is also not far behind in this sphere. It is in this context, the management of our river resource becomes pressing and is moreover essential for securing our future. I am pleased to note that the first International River Congress will not only focus on the conservation of river through judicious river resource management on the basin scale, but will also open a platform for interaction between the investors and stakeholders, where the stakeholders can share their views or steps they have taken till date for river bank erosion, river rejuvenation, and riverine ecosystem maintenance, livelihood of people of the river surrounding the area, river economy to create a better future, etc. I wish the organizers of the first International River Congress every success in this venture and hope that it strengthens our various development programs with the infusion of the summit generated ideas. Signed, Gajendra Singh Shekhawat, Ministry of Jal Shakti, Government of India. Thank you.
What a wonderful message. We will always be grateful to you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
May I please request Dr. Vishwajit Rai Chaudhuri for the welcome address to the dignitaries and delegates. Sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Devajiti and Andhra. On behalf of South Asian Institute for Advanced Research and Development, first of all, I welcome to all of you for joining with us in this 3 days international, one time I am not saying conference, but also conference of International River Congress organized by our institution. In association with the Ministry of Jal Shakti, Namami Gange, National Mission for Clean Ganga, National Institute of Urban Affairs, GIZ Foundation, Germany, Central Inland Fisheries Research Institution, Government of India, National Institute of Urban Affairs, NIUA, National Atlas and Thematic Mapping Organizations, and Anthropological Survey of India, and all our knowledge partners. I really thanks to all of you for supporting us through your knowledge, expertise, and sponsorship also. In this regard, once again, I would like to share my sincere thanks to Honorable Lordship Justice of National Green Tribunal, Kolkata Eastern Zone Bench, Mr. Amit Thalekar sir, for joining with us. I would like to share my sincere thanks to the Honorable Expert Member of National Green Tribunal, Eastern Zone Bench, Kolkata, Mr. Shoibal Dasgupta sir. I would like to share my sincere thanks to our Honorable Japan Consulate for joining with us in this August gathering, and also, not but least, I would like to share my sincere thanks to Honorable Director of National Institute, Anthropological Institute, Survey of India, Government of India, for sharing their sincere support to organize this event at their own venue. Also, I would like to congratulate and thanks to all my colleagues, along with all the expertise, those who joined from the different corners of the world, and also another two persons without whom support we can't go through for this session. The Honorable Director General of National Mission for Clean Ganga, Mr. Rajiv Ranjan Misra sir, and also the Honorable Director of National Institute of Urban Affairs, Mr. Hitesh Vaidya sir, for sharing their sincere support and all that. As you know that South Asian Institute for Advanced Research and Development, SAIARD, is now become the regional capacity building center of both NMCG and NIUA. But since our journey, whatever we are focusing to work in the aspects of river, in aspects of water, in aspects of urban sector, what are the burning issues as well as the disaster sectors, and along with that we are also focusing on GIS emergency platform. So whenever we are going to sign MOU with the NMCG and NIUA on the same table, after that I have proposed one proposal that there are several programs are organized by the different parts of the world on water sector, river sector, but why not river? And on that note, I promised that on behalf of SAIARD, I would like to organize the International River Congress, which will be the first International River Congress in the world. And we are happy to inform you that this International River Congress is now recognized by the different corners of the world. Different organizations have joined, and hopefully in the coming year, several countries from Australia, from Belgium and from Bangladesh, they propose to organize this event at their own venue. And we will decide in later, but still, the river, we know that's an integral part of our lifestyle. Since the very beginning, we are saying that river is the lifeline of our socio-cultural parameters and all that. But why not we are focusing on the different parameters of river? That's why we have started an initiation that is the Think River Differently. Because river is not just a resource. River is just a source of all channels. So through this conference, I hope the different discussions, whatever the panel discussion, roundtable discussion, technical sessions are there, through these discussions, we can definitely generate some policy activities or policy aspects from where we can share it to the different ministries, those who are associated with the sector, and directly or indirectly, and as that they can get some inputs for in further policy making sectors regarding whatever the activity should be done and what are the focus we should keep in case of river resource. So this is the podium. I think that there are several resource persons, eminent personalities from the different countries have joined, several eminent organizations, resource persons from the eminent organizations have joined. And this podium, we are not only focusing, this is the initiation, but we will go for this in a long run. And as on behalf of SAIARD, I would like to declare that this will be a recurring conference of SAIARD, and each year we will organize it either in India or in different countries in different sectors, along with the Government of India's vision. I also thanks in this podium to all the institutions, those who have joined in this River Congress and winning the Save River Campaign Award also. And through this awareness, this conference is not only just for the discussion, we have reached the boundaries of this conference to the outer part of the country, as that their students can join. We are thankful that Atal Bihari Vajpayee Vishwavidyalaya from Bilaspur they have joined. We are thankful to Sri Shiksha College, Kolkata for supporting us in participating in the Save River Campaign Award. We are thankful to former Bakura University for taking part in this initiation, Medicaps University, Bhopal. So it's not only a conference, I say that it's a confluence where the stakeholders, where the policy makers, where the administrators, those who are associated with the government, those who are associated with the different sectors related to the river related activities, or wherever our bread and butter sometimes is related with the river. This conference can be a platform from where we can get an idea, and from where we can get some benchmark about our future policy aspects. And hopefully after this conference you definitely get some insight into how we should think about our river resource. That's why the catch term, Think River Differently, is the catch term of our International River Congress, and hope after this conference each and everybody should feel in their mind, should feel river in their, as like their blood, and as our body we should keep, we will definitely take some initiatives to protect it, this mother natural resource of our. With this, once again, I thanks to all of you and congratulate for participating in our River Congress, and hope Your presence definitely gracious our moment, and it will be a remembered conference to all of you. Thank you. Thanks, Lord.
Thank you so much, sir, for your wonderful speech.
Well, we are fortunate to have all our delegates, but some of our distinguished delegates are not available today, namely Mr. Hitesh Vaidya. He is currently the director of the National Institute of Urban Affairs. He has over 20 years of experience in the field of urban management, urban governance, and capacity building. He has been involved in providing the technical assistance and capacity building support to several urban local bodies and instituting significant urban reforms at the local levels. He brings on board a strong demonstrative experience of improving the institutional capacity, including development strategies to support and deliver the program results. He has been associated in the areas of the urban development, urban governance, and urban infrastructure management with the United Nations, the World Bank, the US agencies for the international development, USAID, and his assignments, etc. May we please request our technical team to connect Mr. Hitesh Vaidya for his speech. He's online. Please request Mr. Hitesh Vaidya for his notes. Sir, you're audible, sir. Sir, pardon please, sir.
And hunger, achieve food security, and improve nutrition. They will also start discussing about availability and sustainable management of water and sanitation. They will talk about SDG 11, making cities safe, resilient, and sustainable. SDG 13, urgent action to combat climate change and its impacts. And we all know the Prime Minister during the Glasgow Conference COP26 have made a lot of commitments towards the climate actions at the local level. And also SDG 15, which is protect, restore and promote sustainable use of terrestrial ecosystems, manage forests, combat desertification. So a lot of actions have to be thought. It's not just one action or one approach which will help us in managing rivers. So I think this 2 days conference which is going to reflect and come up with this new thinking has to start thinking, because this is not going to be easy task. The size, the scale of India, as well as different cities across the world, to achieve the sustainable goals is not a small task. So we also know that, and unfortunately I don't have been there, but because of COVID and some personal issue, I could not join you there in person. But when we are seeing our cities getting out of the COVID, we have a new animal which is called Omnicron. It's now starting us. And last 2 years, the lessons we learned, we all realized that business as usual approach cannot help us in protecting against sudden shocks and long-term stresses. We need to think about new strategies, and these new strategies cannot come on their own. They need to be designed, they need to be deliberated, they need to be discussed, and we all of us have to come up in last year with disruptive and innovative, actionable solutions but to meet these emerging challenges. And we also realize in part of our heart that if we don't take urgent actions, we could see a future full of disasters causing suffering and destruction on an unprecedented scale. And what if we have to take the sustainable development goals, we have to start talking about inhabitants. So I think the action will lie on our local governments at the local level. And we have to rely heavily on the ability of cities and towns to emerge as a hub of innovation, production, services, and knowledge-based economies. It's not that progress is not happening, but despite the successes which we have achieved, many other local bodies during COVID before have done a great job, including infrastructure and issues and managing the COVID threat. But the challenge is to replicate and sustain these successes and these innovations on a large scale. While our policy leaders have given us a vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat, local for vocal and 5 trillion economy, we all know that this will not work with one single approach. We need to really, our own new strategies have to start looking at a wide range of approaches. We have to come up with a new guidelines, we have to come up with a new framework, new implementation mechanisms, monitoring this mechanism, reporting mechanisms, advocacy towards the reforms. We need to have a hand-holding the city, build their capacity, and I think research and knowledge generation has to be another key point. I think organizations like SAIARD who are approaching has to come up with different tools, templates, technology, and National Institute of Urban Affairs being a fact body of capacity building is always ready to support there. But I without going further, I think we need to really, during the next 2 days, we need to come up with the 5 broad tenets which we need to discuss among all the participants, stakeholders, and these 5 tenets are: how do we make our actions more participatory and inclusive? Because we all know that policies often get framed within the closed confines of municipal and regions. And how do you make it establish a connection with the people? I think that is going to be the biggest challenge. How do we start? And during COVID, I saw a lot of actions came from the people and the cities actually implemented. So how do you engage, focus on, so that citizens start taking ownership and pride in implementing a lot of actions which we think at the policy level. Second area which we need to really talk about, not only creating a capital infrastructure, capital investment, but it is how do you move away from operational efficiencies of this delivery. How do you build that coordination and convergence at the different local government levels? That is going to be the success of outcomes. We all know that people come to cities for livelihood. What are those mechanisms to improve livelihood? The data and technology we saw during last 2 years have played a massive role. Not only breaking those barriers to equitable access, but I think this needs to be strengthened much more so that we have a healthy and safe community. And I think the data and technology also has to start looking at awareness, creation and engagement of stakeholders in implementing, monitoring and reporting of the solutions that we come up. Rivers can be, I think, powerful tool while we are accelerating sustainable development. So when we are talking about cities as I think two more agents of inclusivity and sustainability has to be included by their top duty. So policies can be a root, but I think the foundation of this root has to come from our local body level. So action has to come up at the local level. And during this recently, the Honorable Prime Minister, again, while he was addressing the mayors during the good governance week, and he did talk about that rivers should be brought back to the center of city life. This will bring new life to our city. I hope this Congress for next 2 days will discuss these new solutions, new mechanisms, new technology, and new management systems, not only to reduce the pollution, but also to come up with a new, peer-to-peer learning and reflect what different stakeholders have achieved across regions and countries, and how they can combine those learnings within their own local context. I really congratulate the SAIARD to organize this once again. I thank NMCG for supporting NIUA and the whole urban ecosystem, starting a new thinking of integrating rivers within the city ecosystem. Let's not think them two different ecosystems, but they are part of a single ecosystem, and how do we really work towards that. So I think I wish the conference a great success, and hope the learnings from this conference will help us in designing a new thinking, which then can help our larger goal of Atmanirbhar India and 5 trillion economy. With that, I thank you everyone for giving me an opportunity to speak. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vedya, for your insights over the conference. And now I would like to request Antara for the next guest.
Well, thank you. Now, our next guest is Sri Rajiv Ranjan Mishra, IAS Honorable Director General, National Mission for Clean Ganga, Ministry of Jal Shakti, Government of India. He is an officer belonging to the Indian Administrative Service. He is currently at the rank of Secretary in Government of India and working as Director General of National Mission for Clean Ganga, NMCG. Since 2018, he has spearheaded Namami Ganges program and integrated river rejuvenation approach with multiple activities spanning 11 states of the Ganga River Basin and creating a model program for river rejuvenation in India. As Devajyoti has already mentioned earlier that some of our delegates has been joined us through online, Sri Rajiv Ranjan Mishra has also joined us through online. I'd like to request our technical team to connect him as well. Over to you, sir. Audible? Sri Rajiv Ranjan Mishra, over to you, sir. I'll request you to give your address.
Hello.
Kalkar ji, Sri Sarval Das Gupta ji, Mr. Dhanis Vaidya, Mr. Nakamura Utaka, Dr. Vishnu Rai Chaudhary, all the distinguished guests. I welcome all of you to this International Labour Congress on behalf of National Mission for Clean Ganga. It's indeed a very satisfying moment for me because when we started planning for a conference of this type with Dr. Vishwajit Roy Chaudhary from SAIARD, perhaps we didn't imagine that it will invoke so much of response and in a very short period of time it will also get such kind of response from several countries. So it's a very important occasion as Mr. Hitesh very rightly said that we are looking forward to entering into a new year with all the memories of 2021. And then we must look at this conference as a venue, as a platform, which will perhaps improve our understanding of rivers. And then perhaps the health of rivers will improve with that better understanding. Sometimes it may look little odd that in a gathering of this distinguished set of experts and people, I am talking about understanding rivers. But let me share with you very honestly, I have association with this mission or the rivers in different postings. I was principal secretary irrigation of my state for 5 years. I am associated with the but the real challenge is we do not have a very clear, a very holistic understanding of river, and that's where the problem lies. We used to have, I think, many people of us always start talking about river by saying that we all develop on the bank of river, civilize, develop not only in India, not only in Ganga, but along all major rivers in the world. I think we all developed along the river. Rivers were much before us, and rivers will remain there. I am being very optimistic. See, the nature and river, they exist and they were much before us. We started developing, maybe we started with cultivation, agriculture, villages became bigger village and then smaller towns and bigger towns, and then today we have a scale where we have huge big income, and that is where the problem lies. That is where the rivers started to lost in the sector. And that's why just before me, my colleague Hitesh has rightly pointed out that cities are important. We always call cities as engines of growth. But how that engine will work if the water is not there, if we don't have access to clean water, and if we don't have rivers to have. So that's why the river and water become together. And that's why we are also talking about river science. He spoke about that. But again, I will come back to understanding river. I think our understanding of river was very sound, very strong. There were times in our shastras, in our scriptures, we used to tell people to respect water, to respect river. I think innumerable quotes can be found from our scriptures where people say that how to respect the source of water, and we all have learned that rivers are goddess. Especially Ma Ganga, we always talk, we always river Ma Ganga. So I think rivers are goddess, not only limited to Ganga or Yamuna or Saraswati or Godavari or Kaveri or several other rivers. All rivers are important. We were taught about it, but slowly I think something has happened where perhaps that connect, that reverence, not reflected in our action in how we work around the how we protect it. Another problem is we only talk about cleaning. That's why when this Namavi Ganga mission was launched, I think they tried to understand the river and cities, it's the villages, it's the habitations along the river which are not clean. So I think cleaning of river primarily means cleaning of the habitats. We should be changing our habits, like our solid waste disposal, looking at the plastics and several things. So I think that is something which is very, very important. A major part of the mission which will perhaps take much more resources, which has been taking much more of our investment and resources. But if you only look at that, our job will not be done. And that's why we have to look at rejuvenation. And rejuvenation is cleaning plus. So we have to look at improving ecology, we have to look at flow. And that's again, I mean just looking at flow. We have given the notification of the environmental flow. We are trying to implement it in Ganga, we are trying to assess the environmental flow for other things and what exactly is the environmental flow. Now this is a group of experts which are going to deliberate. I think this is an evolving area. A few years back in India, not many experts were knowing about flow, today we have a notification. How it can be done for the other rivers. I think Honorable NGP orders are there. I mean integrating all these things about the polluted river stretches and developing river rejuvenation plans for different districts. Now a question comes from several states saying that we don't have perennial rivers, so what is the meaning of environmental flow? So I think that's a research question, that's a question to be debated in a conference of this type. And there is a possibility of integrated flow for all those rivers also. So I think we have triggered a discussion, we have done some work on Ganga, but there is a long way to go into developing a regime of environmental flow in the country for all the rivers of different types. So I think that's one. Ecology. We have to look at biodiversity. It is very rightly talked about COVID. There are several issues, and biodiversity is perhaps much more in focus in the entire global discussion than others. So I think preserving biodiversity, looking at aquatic life. If fish is happy, if dolphins are thriving, you can very easily be convinced that the river has been improving. You have more sightings of these animals, these aquatic animals. We should be happy. What about catchment area forestation? What about floodplain protection? All these things are very important. They are long term. They need to be regulated. There is need to do a lot of things to do that, and then there will also be several stakeholders who get affected in the process. So I think it's a long process, and I think someone very rightly said developing rivers, rejuvenating rivers, developing basin is all about the stakeholder consultation and stakeholder management. So I think these are all issues, and agriculture becomes a very important part of it. Sustainable agriculture again is very important. Natural agriculture, organic farming, because we always think of municipal sewage as the polluting thing, but there is also a lot of pollution which we call non-point source of pollution, improves pollution from the agricultural field to chemicals, fertilizers. So I think that's again something to water use efficiency. That becomes a very important factor to improve in that part. I think that there are several things that we discussed. Very typically I saw in the schedule there are two scenarios tomorrow on the river and city, inclusive and resilient waterfront. What it talks about the pollution abatement and also flow, the river front. These are all very important issues, and that's why because urban areas maximum challenge on our rivers and other water body also. I think in Ganga is not only isolated river, river is an integrated thing. The main river is all the rivers. Water bodies, I think they are all very important and they are all part of one system. I think any rejuvenation plan has to look at all these components together and take time to do that. But again, what happens to suppose a habitability or 15-year OLM? What happens after 15 years? I think the life of river is, 15 years may look very long period for a project manager, a commissioner or an administrator like me, but 15 years is nothing in the life of a river. So what happens after 15 years? And that's why our thinking, our planning for urbanization, our planning for rivers has to be there, and that's why we are trying to work on the river sensitive master plan, water sensitive urban design. And tomorrow I think exclusively, I think first half is going to deliberate much more on that. Very recently we have tried to create an institution like River City Alliance. What details also mentioned, the National Ganga Council, also had mentioned that the cities have to think what can they do for the river. I think that thinking is very important. Now we are thinking, typically a city manager thinks we have to clean our city, and then ultimately floodplain is no one's man, no one bothers about it, so why don't we Bagh Mela. We have got several festivals, and in Ganga Sagar there will be many, that festival will be there. So we have ingrained in our culture. But in the modern times, how you bring the youth, how you bring students, and how you connect them, how art can help. So keeping the sanitation and amenity of art also help. I think that's very important. Then another big area where we have to look at is science, technology, knowledge management. As I said,
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your support and blessing. And we're really sorry for all the technical glitches we had to face. Kindly bear with us.
Thank you, sir. I'm sorry for the technical glitches. Well, may I please invite Dr. Gauri Basu, Director of Anthropological Survey of India, Government of India, to speak some more on this occasion. Madam Basu.
Very happy to be present here today at the first international River Congress, at the first International River Congress. The rivers of India play a very important role in the lives of the Indian people. As we have heard from the speakers before me, that rivers play a very important role in irrigation, in providing potable water, cheap transportation, electricity, as well as to provide livelihood for a large number of people all over our country. River flows connect people, places, and other forms of life, inspiring and sustaining diverse cultural beliefs, values, and ways of life. In Indian culture, water is linked to every social aspect of our lives. When we talk of the river Ganga, it winds for 1,560 miles across northern India, from the Himalayan mountains to the Indian Ocean. The Ganga is not just a river, it is a sacred entity, known to all of us as Ganga Ma or Mother Ganges. Ganga Ma is revered as a goddess whose purity cleanses the sins of the faithful and aids the dead on their path towards salvation. Ganga Ma is a symbol of faith, hope, culture and sanity, as well as a source of livelihood for millions of people from time immemorial. She is the center of social and religious tradition in the Indian subcontinent and particularly sacred in Hinduism. All over India, people throng for a dip in the holy river to wash away their sins and for the purification of the soul and rejuvenation of the mind. We believe that bathing in the water cleanses the body and soul and can heal illnesses and can imbue other water with its properties by just adding one drop of the Ganges water to it. Taking a dip in the Ganga is also believed to rid us of all our sorrows. That is the importance of rivers, particularly the Ganga in our country. The river Ganga is believed to descend from the heavens itself. Symbolically, it represents the liberating consciousness or divine consciousness that flows from the head of a spiritual teacher, that is Shiva, and purifies everyone who comes in contact with it. According to Vedic legends, Indra released the waters of the rivers when they were held by a demon. Divine water is consumed in the temples after the worship rituals. The idols of worship are sprinkled with water, and the leaf on which the meal is given to the gods and goddesses is also cleaned with water and a prayer. In the Rig Veda, 45 verses speak of the river Saraswati. She is described as great among the great, the most impetuous of rivers. Whether the Saraswati was a real river that was lost to tectonic plate movement or was a mythical one still remains a mystery. But the reverence for rivers has indisputably been a tradition from the times of the Rig Veda. The river Ganges now enjoys the status of being a national river, but from time immemorial it has been worshipped as Moksha Daini. For ages, people from this subcontinent have been going to Prayag, Kashi and other cities on the banks of the river and walking thousands of kilometers to pay tribute to her. The Kumbh Mela, which is celebrated at the confluence of the rivers Ganga, Yamuna and Saraswati, is a place of pilgrimage with people traveling thousands and thousands of miles to witness the confluence and to bathe in it. Even the British soldiers carried water from the Ganga from India back to England as it remained sweet and fresh throughout the long sea journey. Emperor Akbar considered it as Amrit and always carried a supply of Ganga water. All the rivers of India are symbolized as goddesses except Brahmaputra, which is considered as a god. Indian rivers have been associated with the birth of great heroes like Kumara, Krishna, Bhishma and Karna. The origin of Mahabharata can be traced to the river Ganga, where Shantanu first met Ganga and later Satyavati. Ayodhya, Lord Rama's birthplace, is located on the banks of the river Sarai. Hindus venerate rivers as mothers. Like a mother, each river has a pleasant, a Soumya form as well as an unpleasant or an Ugra form. In their fierce form, the rivers can cause great destruction of life and property. Hence, the scriptures also describe several rituals to pacify them. Thus, in Hinduism, rivers symbolically represent divinity, motherhood, life, cleansing power, femininity, forbearance, death, destruction, impermanence, movement of time, fertility, and so on. I wish this River Congress every success. Though I have been constantly introduced as the director of the Anthropological Survey of India, I'm actually the director of the Eastern Zonal Cultural Center, and the Anthropological Survey of India is just my additional charge, which I've held for the last year. So, whether it is at Anthropological Survey or at Eastern Zonal Cultural Center, I wish to say that we will give you full support for all your activities. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your kind words. Now we have a special address by the Honorable Guest, Sri Shaival Rajgupta, Honorable Expert Member, National Green Tribunal, Eastern Zone Bench, Kolkata. Over to you, sir. So if you are comfortable over there, we can ask. Okay, sure, sir.
Distinguished guests on the dais, delegates and ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor to be here in this very important 3 days International River Congress being organized by SAIARD and Professor court, he insisted that both of us come and say a few words out here on this very important topic. The earlier speakers have said a lot on the policy issues. I've just heard something from Mr. Mishra and also from Mr. Vaidya. Yes, he spoke on the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations, he spoke on the policy issues, he spoke on climate action, he spoke on how rivers need to be rejuvenated, they spoke on how the rivers are getting polluted. They also spoke on the National Green Tribunal orders on river rejuvenation and keeping rivers clean. Now, all of you know that only about 3% of water available in our planet is fresh water, and of which at least 1% is available for drinking purpose or for human consumption. So practically 99% of the water is not available. And that makes it all the more important and crucial and critical to conserve whatever we have. Because if we don't do today, the future generation, our children and their children will have a very, very difficult time. You can see the actions of climate change. There have been a lot of COP meetings going on. And I have attended a number of them when I was working in the ministry earlier. And there are a lot of deliberations on how to mitigate climate actions. And one of the most important things I'd like to mention out here that the importance of river in climate action. Now you know the forest and the rivers have a very intrinsic bond because all the rivers, the forest, the catchments of all major rivers all over the world. So they are major rivers. And if the catchment is not protected properly, many rivers will dry up. That's exactly what Mr. was saying. Because I just heard because the sound was not very good, but I did hear he was mentioning about catchment area treatment, which is the need of the hour. Because if you look at, you just imagine a situation where you don't have good forest, and there is precipitation, there is rainfall. The water will fall from the sky at a very rapid rate. It will rush into the rivers or rivulets, taking the topsoil along with it. So what do you see? You will see muddy rivers or rivulets. You will see rivers which are in full stream only during those peak season of monsoon when there is rainfall, and the rest of the time those rivers turn dry because there is no water or there is no mechanism to arrest the water. So that's why the catchment area is very important, and I would request Professor Chaudhary to also deliberate on this issue of catchment area treatment, because that is the key word for conservation of rivers. So if you have a good forest cover, okay, you have a good catchment, the water actually percolates down. So the idea is to slow down the flow of the water, so that the water percolates into the soil. And if it stays inside the soil, the groundwater is recharged on a continuous basis, and your rivers would stay perennial and it would stay clear, flowing all throughout. And that is the need of the hour, and that is what we've been harping on. Thankfully, in India, our forest cover has been increasing, has been growing in the last decade. The total forest tree cover in our country is around 80.7 million hectares, and it's increasing. It's in fact India, as per the FAO Global Forest Report, India is 10th in the list of countries with regard to forest cover. Now, if you compare India's population with the other countries like Canada or USA or Brazil, India has a population density which is at least 9 times more than these countries which have a higher forest cover than India. So considering the intense biotic pressure on the forest of our country, we still have good forest cover which is commendable. The carbon stock in the forest, because forests are the largest carbon sink, so it's about more than 7 billion tons, which equivalent to carbon dioxide will be multiplied by 3.6, or it's about around 66 billion tons of carbon dioxide. The pledge of the government of India in different COPs is to add additional 2.5 billion tons of CO2 by 2030, reverse land degradation, and then of course move into solar energy. There are other different pledges which the government of India has taken a stand in different COPs, and the United Nations SDGs, as Mr. Vedya was mentioning, Sustainable Development Goals. SDG 13 deals with climate action, SDG 15 on ecosystems, forest ecosystem, deforestation of forests. All these sort of things are extremely important and crucial. So I would request again, Professor, that and the delegates to actually deliberate on these issues, because these have direct ramifications on river ecology. Now, the rivers, which you can see, actually, they all flow. If so, what I was trying to say is, if you have a good catchment treatment and a good catchment, then the water percolates down into the ground, into the soil. Soil would remain moist, and it would have moisture throughout, and it will recharge the small rivulets and rivers, which is important. Soil also contains maximum carbon, along with forest trees. Soil actually has a lot of carbon. And all these leads into the ocean. The seas and all the rivers ultimately flow into the ocean. Now, oceans are a very important ecosystem. It's one of the largest and it's one of the most essential ecosystems. Okay? And you'll be surprised to know that 50% of the oxygen which is produced in the, which we have in the air is from oceans. Okay? And oceans are also one of the largest carbon sinks, just like forests, but they break down carbon 50 times faster than that of the atmosphere. So everything is linked. So if you keep your rivers proper, if you keep it free from pollution or from pollutants, if you see that there is continuous flow, which we call as Aviral Dhara, and Nirmal Nadia, Nirmal Ganga, in fact, it came with Nirmal Ganga, but now it's for all the rivers. So it's actually continuous flow and clean water. So if this is done, then the entire ecosystem moves in a very dynamic manner and in a sustainable manner. So that's why this topic is extremely important in today's world, and I'm actually very happy that SAIARD has taken this step in doing this workshop. But normally what happens, we do a workshop and then we forget everything about it. We take out a nice brochure, these are the proceedings of the workshop, and then we go back to our routine work. So that should not be the idea. I hope that after the workshop is over, you go back with thoughts, you go back with awareness, and you go back with a zeal to do something at least in your area. Okay? If all of us do something, I'm sure something positive will come out. Now, the National Green Tribunal, of course, deals with giving a lot of important decisions on the polluted river stretches. In OA 673 2018, we dealt with 351 polluted river stretches of the country. The Central Pollution Control Board actually had come out with a list of polluted rivers on 5 parameters. So there are 5 categories of polluted rivers. I think in the state of West Bengal we have about 18 rivers calling. And the idea is how to make these rivers pollution free. Now, the tribunal has directed all the states and the union territories to prepare an action plan on river management with reference to sewage treatment. That also came in his speech, because most of the sewage is going into the rivers, and that is actually polluting the rivers to a large extent. Treatment of effluents, many industries are on the banks of rivers. They are putting all their chemical effluents into the water. Then industrial waste, which I have just mentioned, water treatment, and maintenance of field flow, and also defining floodplain zone. That is very, very important, because unless and until you define the floodplains, you will find that a lot of damage is caused to floodplains by organizing a lot of things. People don't know about this floodplain. You should know floodplain zonation is also a very important issue for understanding river management. So we have given a lot of directions to the states, and many of the states have started working very earnestly and with great zeal, and at least trying to mitigate the problem of river pollution. It's a Herculean task, it's not easy. We have a lot of cases on water bodies, and we are very concerned with, when we deal with water bodies. My brother colleague, Honorable Division Member, will also speak after me for some time, and he'll also stress on what we've been doing in the tribunal on keeping the water bodies in a clean manner, free of encroachment, keeping the rivers, or trying to keep the rivers pollution free. We can only give orders. It has to be implemented by the implementing agency. But it's very important that we look at it in this point of view. I always say that this work cannot be done singly. You cannot leave it to the government, you cannot leave it to the researchers, you cannot leave it to the academicians, but it has to be a people's movement, and only then something positive can come out. So I will not take more time, but I wish this conference the very best, and I hope in these next 2 to 3 days we will deliver well on different aspects of river rejuvenation, and so that our children and their children and their children can have a very safe and healthy life and a very safe and healthy future. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir. And I have just been informed by Madam Basu that she has got some official work that is inevitable. So for that purpose, she would like to take a leave for now. So ma'am, thank you for your presence. Although
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for your presence. May I please invite His Lordship, Honorable Justice B. M. Stavakar, Judicial Member, National Green Tribunal, Eastern Zone Bench, Kolkata. So would you like to speak over here? Or?
All the distinguished guests on the dais, whom we've heard and who have enlightened us with their talk. It's a pleasure also to be sharing the dais with Mr. Nakamura Yukano, the Consul General of Japan in Kolkata. I'm thankful to Mr. Biswajit Roy Chaudhary, Director SAIARD, for inviting me to this first International River Congress, which is being held here in Kolkata. We as judges in the National Green Tribunal basically decide matters relating to environment, environmental pollution, which includes control of pollution in rivers, in the soil, in the air, etc. My brother, Mr. Dasgupta, has given you a very scientific explanation of riverine maintenance and the pollutions that go into the rivers and how the NGT is striving to control it. So I will not touch on those aspects. I will speak more on the historical and maybe a little philosophical aspects. We, as all of us, most of us who are present here, hardly wait to think, why are we here or what are we doing here? Do we give it a thought that we are a part of a great continuity of what is known as the Indo-Gangetic civilization? It's a great civilization. We talk of it very casually. But remember, we are also a part of it. We are a part of that great continuity. It has a history of a recorded history of 9,000 years if we start from the Ramayana, continuing to Mahabharata and till today. All the great civilizations of the world happened to be born on the banks of the river. Not a surprise, because it is the rivers which sustain human life, and for that matter, all life on the planet, or at least on the earth, the soil. The marine life is sustained by the seas and the oceans. But human civilization came to be born on the banks of the great rivers. The Sindhu Sanskriti, what we call the Sindhu Ghati Sanskriti, was born on the banks of the river Sindhu. And we are inheritors of that civilization. How many of you, I'll particularly ask the younger people there, how many of you are aware that in India we have a river which is called Sindhu? Let's see, not a single hand being raised. No one has heard of the river Sindhu. Anybody heard? Only one hand, where? So there are younger people, more younger than you. Yes sir, younger than you. Yes. Yes, anybody. Go ahead, please tell me which is the Sindhu river. How will you identify it? Loudly.
It's in Punjab.
It's in Punjab. And where does it flow from, start, and where does it go? You are the inheritor of that civilization. It starts near the Manasarovar lake in Tibet, flows through northern Kashmir, passes through India, enters Pakistan and then flows into the delta of Karachi. And it was that river which gave us the name of Sindhu Ghati Sanskriti. Alright, so it was the river Sindhu that the Greeks called Indus because they could not pronounce the word her or sir. So they called it Indus. And that is why we are known as the inheritors of the civilization of the Indus. Similarly, you have the Sumerian civilization. Now I want to ask you where the Sumerian civilization is. I don't think any hand will be raised, at least among the younger generations. Sumerian civilization was born in Mesopotamia, which is today known as Iraq. The banks of the Euphrates and the Tigris and Euphrates and the Tigris. Then the great Egyptian civilization, a 3,500-year-old civilization or maybe more than that, born on the banks of the Nile. And those civilizations continue till today. And we are part of it. The Indo-Gangetic civilization has sustained great empires. It's not a small wonder. Starting with what we know, the earliest, the kingdoms of Kuru, alright, and Pandu, the two main protagonists of Mahabharata, coming down up to the Mauryan Empire, the Gupta Empire, the Kushan Empire, and then later empires, including the Mughal Empire. Why did they settle in Delhi? Why not somewhere else? Why not in the deserts in the Thar Desert? Because the Ganges sustained them. And it is that 1,500-mile river which flows from Gaumukh up to Hooghly. So we are all inheritors of that great civilization. But then those were the snow-fed rivers. What about the rivers which are not snow-fed and yet are great rivers, which have sustained great civilizations? The Krishna, the Godavari and the Kaveri gave us the kingdoms of the Cheras, the Cholas, the Chalukyas, the Pandyas. Alright. Then you have the kingdoms of the Rashtrakutas and the Satavahans. Never heard of them. They were born on the banks of the river Narmada and Tapti. You have heard of Narmada, I don't know if you've heard of Tapti. Alright. Then you have the great Kalinga Empire. Alright. And its greatest ruler, Kharavela. That was the river born on the banks of the Mahanadi in Orissa, what we call today Odisha. So they're all great empires. Why? Because it is the rivers that sustained humanity. But today, what we have here is nothing but garbage in the name of rivers. Today's program started with Namami Gange, a film of Namami Gange. Okay. And there was one line, we mentioned Ma Gange. So the river Ganges is okay, it's mother, it's Ma Ganga. But what happens when you pour all your tannery filth and your industrial waste and your refinery oils into it and your industrial oils into it and industrial garbage, solid and liquid, extremely poisonous to the health of the river, then we forget so easily that it is the Mahagangi. Why is it so? Why do we so easily forget? Are these only terms of reference to be played in seminars and congresses and functions? Or for more spiritual reasons, we refer to the Ganges as the mother. So do we go home and pour garbage into the lap of our mothers? Do we give it a thought? No, we don't. Because Ganges is some other river, it's something else. How do we care? Whether municipal waste pours into it, whether the industrial waste pours into it, or whether we throw a Bisleri bottle into it, how does it matter? The river will take it down its course somewhere. Whether the cities down river will consume that water and cause ill health effects on the people consuming that water. We don't care. Why is this situation? Why are we so oblivious to the lives of others, while at the same time we are so concerned and bothered about our own lives? And it's the same everywhere. Whether it is the rivers of the north, or the east, or the west, whether it is Brahmaputra or any other river for that matter, we don't care at all. The Kaveri in the month of June is flowing at which is supposed to flow at 22% of its capacity in the month of June, when the monsoons have just about or not yet begun. is flowing at a capacity of hardly 15%. Godavari is flowing at 8.7%, and the Krishna is flowing at 5.7% of its full capacity. The Kem River in Bundelkhand is almost dead. It's a mighty river which sustains the ecology of the forest lands in that area, of the entire Bundelkhand civilization, which is almost dead today. Your the Tista River, which starts in Sikkim, is almost a dying river by the time it joins the Brahmaputra in Bangladesh. But then it's some other river, why should we care? Does it touch us in Hooghly? No, it doesn't. That is our attitude. That what doesn't affect us, we don't want to bother about it. It's somebody else's headache. We remember rivers for their disputes, whether it's the Kaveri Krishna Tribunal or whether it is the Satluj Tribunal. When there is a dispute between states over the use of water, river water, there are disputes. Rest of the time, you are not concerned. So, my dear friends, our rivers, maybe snow-fed in the north, don't take them for granted. The snows are melting. The greenhouse gases are causing the Gangotri glacier to recede. The Gangotri glacier, if my information is correct, has receded almost 15 kilometers in the last 100 years. And in the last 100 years, the industrialization of India actually started only from the 1950s onwards, or 55 onwards. Today it may be at its peak. So you can imagine that very small time span in which 15 kilometers of the Gangotri glacier has receded. What if it dries up? Where will Ganga go? And what will happen to all the cities and the towns that survive and are sustained by its waters? The state of Uttar Pradesh has about 230 million people. Bihar has 174 million people. Bengal has 173 million people. Uttarakhand has about maybe 10 million people. Can you imagine the catastrophe which is going to fall upon all these populations? It's a catastrophe which will fall upon us. You live on the banks of the Ganga in Kolkata. I live in Allahabad, which is the confluence of the Ganga and the Yamuna. Today the water of the Yamuna is 100 feet deep at Allahabad. Why? Not because of the glacier of Yamunotri. The river is almost dead by the time it reaches Okhla in Delhi. All of you have seen those pictures of a foaming, dirty, filthy river. So why is the Yamuna 100 feet deep at Allahabad? It is because of the river Chambal. You know Chambal only for its dacoits. You must also know that it is famous for its river, which has sustained the great civilizations. But what will happen? Chambal is not a snow-fed river. What will happen to these rivers? They will all die one fine day. And this is a phenomenon not confined to India alone. Because this is an international conference, I may tell you, this is not a phenomenon confined to India alone. The Murray River, which is a very important river in Australia, is dying. The very famous Colorado River in USA is dying. The Rio Grande, which borders the United States and Mexico, it's a very big river, but it's dying. What will happen to those civilizations? Can you imagine the scenario of our Earth 500 years from now if congresses like these, like today's, really does not take the bull by the horn and shake up people and do something about saving of the rivers. We won't have to look at Mars to see what the valleys of Mars look like. We'll have created that same scenario on the earth, except that you and I won't be there. Probably by that time our descendants won't be there. So it is about time that we literally pull up our bootstraps and think very seriously where we are going. Don't leave it only to the courts. We enjoy our work, no doubt. But believe me, every such case that comes up before us, it's a painful job. When we read the statistics of the garbage, the oils, the filth that is being poured into the rivers, we literally bang our heads. How much can we do? As my brother said, Mr. Gupta said, how much can we do? We can pass orders. We can direct the police to take action against the officers. But then the tendency of the public is, the police aayegi tab dekhenge. Or the business of the government to do. Why do we always think that it is the business of the government to do everything? Who throws that distillery bottle into the Hooghly? The government doesn't come to throw it. Who pours the garbage into the rivers? The government doesn't do it. So it's about time we stop asking the government to do everything. The sovereign powers of the government should be confined to some other things, to providing a sustainable life, a decent life to its citizens. But if the citizens are hell-bent upon creating hell for themselves, then why should you expect the government to do anything for you? And how much can the government do for you? Government has limited resources. If they have the finances, they can do it. But in those finances, you want bridges, you want good roads, you want good airports, you want good taxi services, you want electricity, you want housing, you want everything. And you want the government to clean your rivers and your ponds also. So it's about time we sit and think. And I'm glad that the River Congress today, organized by the South Asian Institute of Advanced Research and Development, has come forward with this Congress. And I hope at the end of today's, there will be great achievements, great scientific papers presented, and a mechanism will come forward for saving our rivers. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your enlightening speech, because we, although have so much of knowledge, but we forget the insights of those things. So on this note, I'm really thankful on behalf of SAIARD and all the participants also. So we move on to our next speaker for the evening, Mr. Nakamura Yutaka, the Honorable Consul General of Japan in Kolkata. Sir.
Good afternoon, distinguished guests, and ladies and gentlemen. So 5 previous speakers speak wide range of issues relating to water and rivers. I'm not a scientist, I'm not a researcher, I'm a humble bureaucrat. So I'm not an expert of the river. So before I read small speech, 8 minutes, But Japan, my association is the research. 20 years ago, I was posted in Bangladesh as a development cooperation officer. So one day, auditor team used to visit Bangladesh to what we contribute to the Bangladesh government. And one project they wanted to see was the disaster shelter along the river we built 10, 15 years ago, means 30, 35 years ago. And I'm not an expert of the river, so I went to see the shelter. Perhaps the young people over there, what do you think it was happening? The shelter was sitting on the middle of the river. It was built 30 meters away from the river, which flooded frequently. But unfortunately, the river moved. So our disaster shelter faced a disaster. So please, young people, go to the rivers and then ask people what happened in the past. Japan and India has a long history of cooperation in river issues, water issues. So we have a long experience also in India. So we have many technology when we had the flood. So we have taken a quite number of comprehensive initiatives, like construction of a multi-purpose retarding bases on the river, or underground floodways, and regulating reservoirs, dams, and set part to prevent inundation, integrated coastline protection system, etc. So we have a variety of counter measures that are somewhat helped in addressing our domestic water-related issues. Japan is not only committed to address its own domestic water issues, but also pursue the global water issues. That becomes evident when you see Japan to play a leading role to establish a network organization named the Asia Pacific Water Forum, with the name to address a wide variety of issues concerning water, primarily in the Asia Pacific region. To my knowledge, since 2007 till today, the forum has organized 4 Asia Pacific Water Summits. First in Nagoya, Japan, second in Chiang Mai, Thailand, third in Yangon, Myanmar, and fourth in Kumamoto City of Japan, with the basic objective of contributing to solve global water issues through export of its high-quality infrastructure technology. As an integral part of its global commitment, Japan is poised to work in India, as well as in order to tackle water-related challenges in the country. Japan has extended its hand to cooperation with India in the water sector, including river rejuvenation and irrigation, and there has been a steady progress so far. On the World Water Day on March 22nd this year, Japan has reaffirmed our commitment to work with India to tackle water-related challenges in the world. Japan, in many ways, is committed to stand by India's effort for cleaner water. As you all know, India has taken up national mission for Clean Ganga River Basin project for abatement of pollution with financial support from the World Bank. Our government has also come forward to support such projects on river Ganges in Varanasi to Japan International Cooperation Agency. Moreover, memorandum of cooperation has recently signed between Department of Water Resources, River Development and Ganga Rejuvenation, Ministry of Jal Shakti, Government of India, and Water and Disaster Management Bureau, Ministry of Land, Infrastructure, Transport and Tourism, Government of Japan. In the field of water resources in India, this cooperation memorandum has signed for developing a long-term cooperation in the field of water and delta management and water technology in order to increase the exchange of information, knowledge, technology and scientific allied experience, as well as implementation of joint projects between the two countries. This memorandum will certainly help in achieving water security, improved irrigation facilities, and sustainability in water resources development in India. Japan is also contributing through official development assistance to the development and transformation of the northeastern region of India. JICA funded Kawahati water supply and storage project along the river Mahabharata in Assam is currently in progress. JICA also has been funding for various water projects in India, for example, Ganga and Yamuna Action Plan project, Benga irrigation project in Brahman River Basin of Odisha, Swan River integrated watershed management project in Himachal Pradesh, minor irrigation improvement and water sector livelihood improvement project in Rajasthan, Mura River pollution abatement project in Pune, Maharashtra, irrigation and livelihood improvement project in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, and so forth. So this way, Japan is seamlessly standing by India's effort towards our mission to address water issues in the country. So I won't elaborate anymore. In the forthcoming 3 days, during the technological session of our seminar, there will be many panel discussions, deliberation and presentation by the experts. I wish the seminar will come out with very effective suggestions. I wish the very success of the seminar was this objective. With these few words, I conclude. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Utaka. You're privileged that you have joined us today and shared your thoughts with us. Thank you. Well, if the earth is a mother, the rivers are her veins. This quote is said by Amit Kalantri. Rivers are the lifeline of all civilizations as they provide a plethora of life-giving benefits. Be it Amazon, be it Mississippi, or our very own indigenous sacred Ganges, every river has a unique identity and a character of its own, which flows not just past landscapes but through our cultures. They are life-giving and nourishing life in all its varied forms, therefore should be cared with utmost care and reverence and affection. On that note, South Asian Institute for Advanced Research and Development has created a video. I'd like to request our technical team to play the video.
Also, we would like to take the Thanksgiving note for the Namami Ganga.
Okay, sure, sir. Sure, then let's go for our award ceremony for today's evening and then we'll come back to the video session.
Today, we have the award ceremony in the memorial of Professor S.R. Basu, Professor Subhash Ranjan Basu, a renowned river scientist, was the head of the Department of Geography, University of Calcutta, and to receive that award, the awardee is Dr. Amol Kaur. But on behalf of him, as he is not available today, Dr. Prabhuti Banerjee, Director NACMO, will receive the award from Mr. B.S. Thalekar, just as mentioned.
I request our executives to bring the awards. Our next category is Best River Scientist Award, and this award goes to Dr. Kalyan Rudra. And for giving this award, I'd like to request Dr. Vishwajit Roy Choudhury. Sure, sir. Please go. I'd like to request Dr. Kalyan Rudra to say a few words on today's evening. Please, sir.
Honorable Justice, MVT Eastern Bench, technical members of the Eastern Bench, consultants, and my dear brother Vishwajit, and my dear friends. I really feel embarrassed because whatever I have done so far for last 4 decades or so, I don't know whether it has any impact on the society or not. I love rivers. Sir, your inspiring words always important to me. You said that I was reading one book written by one of my friends. He traveled from Brahmaputra to Ganga Sagar, and he went back to England and wrote a book called Ganga and said, paradox of Indian culture is that we worship the river as mother and then pollute it. This is the age-old culture. I was also reading an English translation of the Monu's law. At one paragraph, Monu said, he who interrupts the flow of river should be excluded from the society. So, this civilization, there are 118 towns along the bank of the river, and there are more than 900 polluting industries, and you know better than me, an age-old culture of since the colonial era that we discharge all the polluted water into the river, and till date this continues. In West Bengal, unfortunately, there are some 54 like that, and there are many minor channels. Sir, I understand we can't change in a day, but sir, believe me,
that zero liquid discharge, what Honorable AGP has ordered, we are committed to achieve that. It may take some time, but we are trying our level best, and to the best of my ability, I am trying in pollution control board to do the needful. I also agree with you, sir, that it is not the pollution control board or even the Honorable AGP can achieve the target. It is the people's movement. Each and every system should participate in this program. Otherwise, from Gomuk to Gangasagar, the long 2,500 kilometer stretch cannot be pollution free. And one important part of this program is this kind of seminar when experts come forward and suggest necessary doing the needful. And I believe next 3 days some experts will come forward. And sir, I also, on behalf of my dear friend Vishwajit, I say that you must spare your valuable time to be here, and it was all inspiring to my students sitting here. Thank you all, sir, for being here. Sir, please come. I'm sorry for the with plastic. And you want we can present some other plastic. If you want, we can remove.
I was about to tell him, but I didn't from the dais that from next time use the word plastic bottle.
Sir,
and the plastic wrapper.
I think I should have been I repeat to take it. And they open it and they take it. Let us do it from here. Okay, let us do it from here. So this is the age of culture.
But it's changing in Delhi in all the ministries bad sir. So what we do now is to give a pot of plant. Plant and joy just jaga
Thank you so much, sir. The next category is River Scientist of the Year. In this category, the award goes to Dr. Monojit Roy, and this award, for presenting this award, I invite Sri Shaibal Dashgupta, sir. So, Dr. Monojit Roy, please come up on stage. Thank you so much, sir. The next category is Best River Rejuvenator Award. This award goes to Mr. Nimal Raghavan, and I also like to request Shreval Dalgupta sir to present this award. Mr. Nimal Raghavan. I request our executives to bring the mementos and the awards. I request Sri Shaival Dalgupta sir to present this award. The Thank you so much, sir. The next category of award is Save River Campaign Awards. In this category, we have 5 awardees. The first one is Atal Bihari Vajpayee Vishwavidyalaya, Bilaspur, Chhattisgarh. To present this award, I'd like to request Mr. Nakamura Yutaka.
Delegates from Atal Bihari Vajpayee Vishwavidyalaya. They have been working a lot in the areas. You can see over the screen. They have been working for the cleaning of the water bodies. All the young generation and all the young chaps are working along with the felicitators.
Thank you so much, everybody. The next institution is Sri Shikshayatin College, Kolkata. I also like to request Mr. Nakamura Yutaka to present this award as well.
Our ultimate goal. She is our side. Let's not murder her with our humanity.
Congratulations, everybody.
Congrats on your work.
She provides water to 40% of India's population, and that is a lot. What is your opinion regarding future government?
The next institution is Vivekananda Mission Mahavidyalaya, Haldia, Purva Medinipur, West Bengal. I'd like to request His Lordship Justice B.A. Stalekar sir to present the award. We can hope a big round of applause, I think. If it's not big, a short round of applause. The institution is Vivekananda Mission Mahavidyalaya, Haldia, Purva Medinipur, West Bengal. Congratulations, everybody.
Congrats. So let us move on to the next awardee. That is Sripat Singh College, Murshidabad, West Bengal. And to present this award, may I please ask His Honorable Justice, Mr. B. S. Talakar, please. Sripat Singh College.
Yes, ma'am, please come on stage.
The last award for today's session goes to Chhatra Ramaiya Pandit Mahavidyalaya, Bankura, West Bengal. And to present this award, I would like to request our chairperson, Dr. Vishwajit Roy Chaudhary.
Let's just give them a big round of applause, everybody.
You can see the award on the screen behind. Good to see that all the COVID protocols have been followed up and they have not been absent on the award procedures. Good.
So, let's get back to the International River Congress video. Shall we move for the conference procedure, sir? Okay. Sure.
So may we now please move to the unveiling of the IRC, that's the International River Congress souvenir for this hour, and to unveil it, I would like to request all our guests just to take a moment to just unveil it up.
Well, this looks good.
Thank you. Now it's the time just to shift to our official video that have been music courtesy by the Namami Gange and a little gesture from our technical team. So I would request all our honorable guests just take a seat on the spectators corner. Thank you.
round of applause for the SAIARD team who have been created this amazing video.
Now it's time to move on to the portion where we will going to sign up to MOU with our institutions, and those are been lined up in the formation of SAIARD with Terry New Delhi. And on behalf of Terry New Delhi, we have Mr. Shankar Dayal. May we have Dr. Vishwadit Raychaudhuri. So let us move on to the vote of thanks by Mr. Shankar Dayal. Please, sir, will you be on stage? Just to get the
Mr. Shankar Dayal is Director, Center for Disaster Management and Planning, South Asian Institute for Advanced Research and Development. Over to you, sir.
Honorable Chairperson, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the first International Ganga River Congress 2021 is being organized by South Asian Institute for Advanced Research and Development for Planning and Management at regional level for wide-ranging discussion by national and global experts, stakeholders and investors. River Ganga is prone to catastrophic natural disasters that can significantly harm the basin ecosystem, and such disasters have been highly attenuated by modern anthropogenic activities. Special measures are needed to protect the basin against natural disasters. The major disasters of concern are extreme floods, extreme drought, forest fire, tropical cyclones, landslides, and epidemic and biological invasion. There is need to understand the routine hydrometeorological and biological events perceived as disasters often beneficial for basin. There is need not to be countered. To withstand catastrophic disaster, ecosystems and strengthening of preserving wetland, promoting mixed indigenous forest and vegetation resistant to specific disaster, and curbing land use disturbances and encroachment by humans. Extreme floods are characteristics of sediment discharged Himalayan rivers. To combat floodplain regulation and vegetative measures are preferable to embankment and levee, but upstream can also prove beneficial if the sediment trap behind dams can be transferred to downstream floodplains. The ecosystem of forest fire and of epidemic biological invasion ecosystem need to be studied extensively, and until then active invasion should be limited by checking harmful anthropogenic activities. Landslides in Upper Ganga Basin are aggravated by forest deforestation, road and building construction, and unsafe debris disposal, which need to be strongly checked. Early rejuvenation of disaster-struck ecosystems should be aided by reintroduction of indigenous species resistance to specific disaster type and recreating an enabling feedstock environment. I thank special guest Mr. Nakamura Yukta, Consulate General of Japan in Kolkata. I thank you, sir. I thank Honorable Guest His Lordship Honorable Justice P. Amit Sadkar, Judicial Member, National Green Tribunal, Eastern Zone Bench, Kolkata. I thank you, sir. Sri Sebal Das Gupta, Expert Member, National Green Tribunal, Eastern Zone Bench, Kolkata. I thank Madam Basu has left, Director Anthropological Survey of India and Director Northeastern Cultural Region, Government of India. I thank Namami Gange Director General, Sri Rajiv Ranjan Mishra ji, National and from Ministry of Jal Shakti, Government of India. I thank Guest of Honor, Mr. Hitesh Vaidya, Director, National Institute of Urban Affairs, Government of India. I also thank the award winners who have got award, Dr. Kalyan Rudra Saha, Chairman, West Bengal Pollution Control Board. We also thank our strategic sponsor, Namami Gange, Anthropological Survey of India, NATMO, National Institute of Urban Affairs, CFRI, German Corporation, Komodnar Skyway for their strategic sponsors. I also thank our knowledge partner, Indian Meteorological Department, Uttarakhand Disaster Management Authority. We have here official Dr. Piyush Rotela ji, Executive Director, Uttar Pradesh Disaster Management Authority, Bihar State Disaster Management Authority, Sikkim Disaster Management Authority, Central Water Commission, Indian Institute of Remote Sensing Dehradun, Northeastern Space Application Center, IIGST, Shikhan Ketan College, Kolkata, Geomatics, and IBG News. I also thank students, interns, press and electronic media, and Government of Bengal for providing us all support in order to have a successful International River Congress in Kolkata. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot for your encouragement, support, and time for making our event a grand success. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now we move on to the inauguration of the exhibition gallery. It will be followed by the networking team. And also, I would like to invite you for the program that is scheduled just after that. So kindly be with us and we will have it.
And let's proceed for the inauguration of exhibition gallery.
I had a liver-related problem, and the depression and the stress and other problems. So regarding the contact with
We have supported several libraries.
পটচিত্র এটা আমাদের বংশ পরম্পরা ন্যাচারাল কালার গাছপাতা রঙের তৈরি করা আমাদের মন্ত্রীমহলদের সব কিছু আমাদেরকে হেল্প করছে, মেলাঘাটে যাচ্ছি, আপনাদের আশীর্বাদে আমরা যেখানে যাই সম্মান পাই। এটা যাতে বেঁচে থাকে আপনারা চেষ্টা করছেন, এটা আমি আর তোর তলে কৃষ্ণ যে মুরলি দিল টান শোনে যত বোঝে কেউ নাচে কেউ গায় কেউ বলে হবের ভাবিকা রাধে জানে গড়া গড়ি পথ মাঝে প্রভুর ঘাটে কানাই দেখা দিল গুলিয়ে ঢাকিয়ে রাধে ক্ষমতা টানিল কানাই কহে দিও গো সোনার বচন আমায় দেখে ঢাকা দিলে কত এই রাজার ধন সম্পর্কে ভাগনারে আমি তোর মামি আজ আমার সঙ্গে ঠাট্টা করিস নীলজ কানাই। কতটা পটের গান আসছে। হ্যাঁ নাই
পেছনে যা পেছনে
One day I used to go there. Sir.
Thank you. I told you last time, anytime after 1 o'clock start হয়ে গেল আমি যেটা বললাম না, it must be disseminated properly. যে মেসেজ যাবে একদম মানে সেমিনার
এত দেখতে তো খারাপ হয়ে যায়।
স্যার একটা একটু ছোট করে বলুন যে আমাদের দেখাচ্ছিল নমামি গঙ্গে গঙ্গার এখনকার সমস্যা যেহেতু কেন্দ্র সরকার যথেষ্ট জোর দিচ্ছে এবং সেটা তো সলিউশন আমি জানি একটু সময় বলা যায়
দেখুন গঙ্গা সবাই জানেন যে এটা ভবিষ্যৎ প্রায় গ্লোবালে পরিণত হয়েছে। ইট ইজ লাইফ লাইন অফ ইন্ডিয়া। জওহরলাল নেহরু ডিসকভারি অফ ইন্ডিয়ার একটা জায়গায় তিনি বলছেন যে স্টোরি অফ গঙ্গা ইজ দ্য স্টোরি অফ ইন্ডিয়ার সিভিলাইজেশন। এবং সেই গঙ্গা গত 200 বা তারও বেশি সময় ধরে দেখা গেছে আস্তে আস্তে দূষিত হয়েছে। নদীর পাড়ে যে 118টা শহর আর প্রায় 900-র মতো যেগুলোকে আমরা পলিউটিং ইন্ডাস্ট্রি বলি, সেগুলো গড়ে উঠেছে। এবং ৭৪ সালের আগে পর্যন্ত যেহেতু দেশে কোনো পরিবেশের আইন কানুন ছিল না, সেই জন্য তারা যথেচ্ছভাবে নালাগুলোকে নদীর দিকে করে দিয়েছিল। এবং এই কলকাতার আশেপাশে পশ্চিমবঙ্গে এখন ৫৪টা নালা এসেছে। এই ১১৮টা শহর থেকে প্রায় ৬০০ কোটি লিটার ওয়েস্ট ওয়াটার প্রতিদিন নদীতে মিশছে। এখন 1985-এ প্রথম রিয়েলাইজ করা হলো যে এটা হওয়া ঠিক না। তখন একটা কথা বলা যায় ইন্টারসেপশন, মানে নালাগুলোর মুখ বন্ধ করো, ডাইভারশন, ওকে ট্রিটমেন্ট প্ল্যান্টে ট্রিট অ্যান্ড দেন রিইউজ। খুব যে বেশি এগুলো তা নয়। তারপরে এলো নমামি গঙ্গে, সেখানে মূল লক্ষ্যটা মূলত তাই, কিন্তু তার সাথে সাথে আরও অনেকগুলো বিষয়। আপনাদের তো কত নন পয়েন্ট সোর্স অফ পলিউশন আছে। নন পয়েন্ট সোর্স মানে ধরুন পাশে যে কৃষি জমিটা আছে, তারা যে রাসায়নিক সার কীটনাশক ব্যবহার করে সেগুলো যে ধুয়ে নদীতে আসে। সব মিলিয়ে 3টে প্যারামিটার যদি আমি বলি, সেটা হচ্ছে যেটা নদীর স্বাস্থ্যকে বুঝিয়ে দেয়। একটা হচ্ছে ডিজলভ অক্সিজেন, জলে দ্রবীভূত অক্সিজেনের মাত্রা কেমন আছে, বিওডিলো অর্থাৎ জৈব রাসায়নিক অক্সিজেন চাহিদা কেমন আছে, আর কলিফর্ম ব্যাকটেরিয়াল কাউন্ট। এই 3টেতে গঙ্গাকে আমরা দেখেছি গঙ্গার একটা সেলফ রিকভারি ক্ষমতা আছে, অর্থাৎ নিজেকে নিজে আবার শুদ্ধ করে নেওয়ার পর। আজকে যদি এখানে আপনি একটা দূষণ নদীর মধ্যে মিশিয়ে দেন, 20 থেকে 22 কিলোমিটার পরে নিচে গেলে দেখা যাচ্ছে সেটা নেই। কিন্তু সেই ক্ষমতাটারও একটা লিমিট আছে, সীমা আছে। সেই সীমাটাও অতিক্রম করে গেছে আমরা এত বেশি পরিমাণে। এখন দুটো জিনিস ঘটেছে, একদিকে যেমন পলিউশন লোড বেড়েছে, তেমনি নদী থেকে জল টেনে নিয়ে ইরিগেশনের প্রবণতাও বেড়েছে। গ্রাউন্ড ওয়াটার টেবিল এক্সপ্লয়েট করার ফলে নদীর দিকে যে বেস ফ্লোটা আসতো সেটা নষ্ট হয়ে গেছে। আর হিমালয়ান গ্লেশিয়ারগুলো দ্রুত মেল্ট করছে বলে যে স্নোবেল্ট ওয়াটারটা একসময় নদীকে বাঁচাচ্ছে, তার পরিমাণও ধীরে ধীরে কমছে। একদিকে জল কমছে, আরেক দিকে দেখা যাচ্ছে যে দূষণের মাত্রা বাড়ছে। দুয়ে মিলে এই গভীর থেকে গভীরতর সংকটের মুখোমুখি আমরা। এখন এটা বুঝতে হবে যে একটা ইকোলজিক্যাল ফ্লো বলে একটা কনসেপ্ট নতুন উঠেছে, এটাকে অনেক সময় পার্সেন্টেজে এক্সপ্রেস করা হচ্ছে। মানে 15% জল বা 20% জল, এটা বেরকম নয় ব্যাপারটা। এটা হোলিস্টিক হাইড্রোলজি বলে। এটা সামগ্রিকভাবে নদীর স্বাস্থ্য রক্ষা করার জন্য সে কতটা জল চায় আর কতটা জল আমি নিতে পারি, এই দুয়ের মধ্যে একটা সমন্বয় করা দরকার। মানে এইটা যদি আমরা না বুঝতে পারি, তাহলে আমাদের নদীর জল নিয়ে এই যে এখন শুধু দেশে দেশে নয়, ধরুন কাবেরীর জল নিয়ে কর্ণাটকের সাথে তামিলনাড়ু হচ্ছে, তিস্তার জল নিয়ে বাংলাদেশের সাথে, গঙ্গার জল নিয়ে বাংলাদেশের সাথে। আমাদের এখানে যেটা নেই সেটা হচ্ছে একটা নদী উৎস থেকে মোহনা পর্যন্ত বয়ে আসে 11টা রাজ্যের উপর দিয়ে গঙ্গা। আমাদের কোনো রেগুলেশন নেই যে কোন রাজ্য কতটা জল নেবে, যার ফলে আমরা দেখি উজানের দিকে প্রচুর জল নিয়ে নেওয়া হয়, যার ফলে নিচে যখন আসে ফারাক্কার কাছে তখন জল থাকে না শুকাবশ্যে, আর সেটা নিয়ে বাংলাদেশের সাথে লড়াই করে শুরু করে। এই সমস্ত ব্যাপারগুলো ভাবা দরকার এবং সামগ্রিকভাবে নদীর স্বাস্থ্যকে ফিরিয়ে আনা দরকার। কারণ ইংরেজিতে আমরা বলি নদী এমন কতগুলো সার্ভিসেস দেয় সোসাইটি এবং ইকোসিস্টেমকে, যেটা মানুষের পক্ষে সম্ভব নয়। যেমন সে তার দীর্ঘ চলার পথে গ্রাউন্ড ওয়াটারকে রিচার্জ করে, সে সেডিমেন্টগুলোর যেটা ফ্লাশ করে সমুদ্রে, সেটা কোনো ড্রেজিং দিয়ে করা সম্ভব নয়। সে বায়োডাইভার্সিটিকে প্রিজার্ভ করে এবং ফ্ল্যাট প্লেন ইকোলজিটাকে বাঁচিয়ে রাখে। আমি কয়েকটাকে বললাম। এই সার্ভিসেসগুলো কোনো আধুনিক বিজ্ঞান দিতে পারে না। ফলে নদী যদি একদিন না থাকে তাহলে এই সভ্যতাটা টিকবে না, এটা স্বীকৃত। কিন্তু একটা কথা মনে রাখতে হবে, একটা ন্যাশনাল গ্রিন ট্রাইব্যুনাল বা একটা পলিউশন কন্ট্রোল বোর্ড, একটা রাজ্য সরকার, একটা কেন্দ্রীয় সরকার এই সমস্যার সমাধান করতে পারে। এটা প্রতিটি নাগরিকের কর্তব্য। এটা ইংরেজিতে যাকে বলে পিপলস মুভমেন্ট, একটা গণ আন্দোলন। সেই গণ আন্দোলনের প্রতিটি নাগরিক যেদিন অংশগ্রহণ করবে সেই দিন গঙ্গা বিশুদ্ধ হবে, তার আগে পর্যন্ত নয়।
ডিপার্টমেন্ট ইনভলভ হয়ে গিয়ে
জিওগ্রাফি বিরাট ব্যাপার, যেটা ইস্যু করা যেতে পারে ওয়ার্ল্ড ওয়াইড, সেটা ওয়ার্ল্ড ব্যাংক সবাই এখন সেই ওয়াটার সিকিউরিটি এবার ওয়াটার রিলেটেড কংগ্রেস এই হোয়াট ইজ দ্য সোর্স অফ ওয়াটার, যেটা মেন অ্যাজ এ জিওগ্রাফি আমি অ্যাজ এ জিওগ্রাফি স্টুডেন্ট। সো যেটা বুঝেছি যে রিভার যদি আমরা প্রোটেক্ট করতে না পারি, রিভারের প্রকৃত অর্থে সেই ভ্যালুটাকে যদি আমরা মর্যাদা দিতে না পারি, তাহলে এই ওয়াটার করে আমরা লাফাচ্ছি। এবং আপনারা হয়তো দেখেছেন লটস অফ কনফারেন্স ওয়াটারের উপরে হয়েছে, ওয়াটার সামিট হয়েছে, এই হয়েছে, বাট আফটার দ্যাট সিগনিফিকেন্সটা কোথায় হচ্ছে, সেই অ্যাওয়ারনেসটা কোথায় হচ্ছে? এবং যে কারণে আজকে দেখুন এই রিভার কংগ্রেস নামটা দেওয়াতে এটা এতটা ক্যাচি হয়েছে। এবং বিহাফ অফ সাইয়ার্ড আমাদের যখন এমইউ হয় এনএমসিজির সঙ্গে এবং এনআইইউ এর সঙ্গে, এবং সেখানে আমি এমইউ পরেই যখন প্রপোজ করি এভরি মেম্বার্স আর এগ্রিকে ইট শুড বি, বিকজ যেখান থেকে সোর্স ওয়াটার সেখানে তো আসা উচিত, সেখানেই আসা উচিত। এবং যে কারণে আমাদের এই কনফারেন্সটাই আমরা এমনভাবে প্ল্যান করেছি, ইট উইল বি আ কনফ্লুয়েন্স, যেখানে স্টেক হোল্ডার্সরা আছে, গভর্নমেন্ট পলিসি মেকার্সরা আছে, জাস্টিসরা আছে। আপনি দেখেছেন টপ মোস্ট বডি থেকে টপ লাস্ট বডি অব্দি সবাই রয়েছে। ইভেন ইন্ডাস্ট্রি পার্টনার উইল কাম, জিআইজেডের মতো একটা রিনাউন্ড ইনস্টিটিউশন যেটা জার্মানি, প্লাস হচ্ছে আরও অনেক ইনস্টিটিউশন যারা যুক্ত হয়েছে, স্কাইমেট, কমিউনিদাস ফিল্স ফ্রম সিঙ্গাপুর এবং নবমী গঙ্গে, এরা তো রয়েছেই। তো এটার ইম্পর্টেন্সটা রিয়েলাইজ করা, এটাকে কেন আমরা কীভাবে দেখা উচিত, যে কারণে আপনারা দেখবেন আমরা একটা ক্যাচ লাইন নিয়েছি, থিঙ্ক রিভার ডিফারেন্টলি, এবং আমি আমার স্পিচের সময় বলেছি। কারণ রিভারকে যতক্ষণ আমরা আলাদাভাবে দেখতে পারবো, ততক্ষণ পর্যন্ত আমরা ওয়াটার সিকিউরিটি বলুন, এই যে বাকি অ্যালাইনমেন্ট বিষয়গুলো, ইকোনমিক ক্রাইসিস, ইন্ডাস্ট্রি, পলিউশন, এই যাবতীয় যে বিষয়গুলো, এগুলোকে আমি হাইলাইট করতে পারবো। দ্যাটস ওয়াই দিস কনফারেন্স বেসিক্যালি অর্গানাইজ নট অনলি জেনারেল টেকনিক্যাল সেশন, পেপার প্রেজেন্টেশন, ইট উইল গো থ্রু প্যানেল ডিসকাশন। এবং আমাদের এইখান থেকে যে রিপোর্ট, কনসেপ্ট, আইডিয়া যা থেকে যে জেনারেট হবে, ইট উইল গো টু ডাইরেক্ট পিএমও অ্যান্ড অল দ্য স্টেট মিনিস্ট্রিজ। ইভেন আপনাদের একটা ভালো খবর দিই, হোপফুলি দিস কনফারেন্স উইল বি inaugurated in the coming year in any international countries, because some of my international friends, they have also invited me ke apni আমাদের কান্ট্রিতে করুন, অস্ট্রেলিয়া থেকে, বেলজিয়াম থেকে, তাদের প্রেজেন্টেশনও কালকে আছে। এবং আমি বলেছি যখন যে আমরা এটা শুধুমাত্র একাডেমিক স্পিয়ারে রাখতে চাইছি না, তো বললো নো, ইট উইল ডেফিনেটলি গো টু দ্য গভর্নমেন্ট, অ্যান্ড গভর্নমেন্ট একটা লিয়াজের মাধ্যমে হবে। এবং আরেকটা যেটা বলবো, এই যে সেভ রিভার ক্যাম্পেন অ্যাওয়ার্ড যেটা আপনারা দেখলেন, আমরা এটা রিভার আইআরসি থেকে আমরা করেছি, এটার একটা ভালো ইম্প্যাক্ট এই হলো যে আজকে যে কটা ইনস্টিটিউশন, 5টা ইনস্টিটিউশন করেছে, তাদের ছেলেমেয়েরা, এনএসএস টিমরা, তারা প্রত্যেকে মাঠে নদীতে নেমে পরিষ্কার করে অন্তত কয়েক কিলোমিটার নদী পরিষ্কার করেছে। তাহলে দেখুন, একটা অ্যাওয়ার্ড বড় কথা নয়, কিন্তু অ্যাওয়ার্ডটা থেকে দেখি যে অ্যাওয়ারনেসটা জেনারেট, দ্যাট অ্যাওয়ারনেস বেসিক্যালি হেল্প, মতলব আমাদের যে সেমিনারের যে মেন এরিয়া, ফোকাল থিম, সেটাকে আমার মনে হয় এনার্জাইজ করে দিয়ে বাচ্চারা তৈরি হয়ে আছে। ছটা থেকে একতলা থেকে যাত্রা শুরু হলো এবং
স্যার ready.
Thank you. Our civilization had always been river-centric. In fact, all the five elements of nature maintain the natural concord which, when disrupted, can cause havoc disasters. On this occasion of being a part of this River Congress, I'd like to present Ganga Stuti, a song sung in praise of River Ganga, which has attained the status of a deity, consort of Lord Shiva, nurturing this land of India, providing it with life and greenery, falling through Bengal before losing itself in the Bay of Bengal. Composer of this verse, Adi Shankaracharya and great poet Dijenulal Rai, Ragmala Talgucha. So combination of variety of ragas and talas from Bengal. Music rendered and research by Pandit Amitabh Mukherjee, Ganga Stuti. Thank you.
Hey
Saraswati Vandana. Sara means water, hence the name derived from that. We know the appropriate nomenclature of river Saraswati, which nurtures the life and culture along its bank. This space has taken from Padma Purana and Bhavapritananda Ojha composition. Rag Mishra Bilawal, Tal, typical Bengal Tal, Dotruki. Music researcher Pandit Amitabh Mukherjee and dancers from Gauriya Nritya Bharati. After the program, I will introduce that girls and also boys. Thank you. Next item, Shuddha Nritta, based with rhythmic tal, Alapchari. In Gaudiya Nritta there are innumerable number of Alapcharis. From that, tonight we are going to present Desh Alapchari, Radha Krishna Alapchari. It's based on Ras dance, a piece from this Ras dance on the bank of river Yamuna. This piece has chosen from 16th century poet Sri Krishnadas Kaviraj of Gaudiya Vaishnava religion. Rag, Rag Desh, Tal, Dash Pahari, typical Bengal Tal, 8 counts, and Ara Dash Pahari, 12 counts. Alapchari, Desh Alapchari. Thank you. Thank you so much. Our next presentation of this evening, Sri Krishna Roop Varnan. It is an extract from Sri Krishna Kirtan composed by Bodo Chandidash, famous poet of 14th century Bengal. In this piece we can relate the childhood of Lord Krishna when he used to play with ball on the bank of river Yamuna and killed the poisonous snake Kalia in Yamuna. Tali, ek tali, typical ek tali of Bengal. Music, researcher, Pandit Amita Mukhopadhyay, and related by him, dancer Shombu Bhaumik.
Thank you.
Next presentation, Chandi Stuti. Extracted from Mundamala Tantra of Bengal. Bengal had always witnessed the influence of Shakta cult on the bank of river. As for example, bank of river Adi Ganga, Kaligat temple is situated. On the bank of river Ganga, Dakshineshwar Kali temple is situated. And so many examples are there. Rag Yaman and Vrindavani Sarang, Tal Do Dhubi, music by Pandit Amitabh Mukherjee. Our last presentation is Mahajanapada Nritya. Mahajanapada Nritya Dashavatar, composed on the 10 incarnations of Lord Vishnu. In the court of King Lakshman Sena of 12th century Bengal, there were 5 court poets among them. The chief poet was Sri Jayadeva. This dance piece is an extract from Jayadeva's Gita Govindam. In Bengal, the Dashavatar sculpture date back to 9th and 10th century from Pala Empire era. That is Pala era, the golden period of Bengal. Next is Sena period, Lakshman Sen. This period was also the golden period of Sanskrit literature. The theory of evolution of animal to human being is evident in this 10 incarnation. Being a student of science, I feel that. The first one is aquatic, the reptile. Aquatic, Matsya Avatar. Next is reptile, tortoise. Third one is mammal, Varaha Avatar. Fourth one is half lion, half man, Narasimha Avatar. Fifth one is dwarf man, caveman, Bhamana Avatar. Next, the Metal Age, Parashuram Avatar with axe. The Rama Avatar is complete man, human being. Then Balaram Avatar, the irrigation planner, the cultivation age. Next, for knowledge and peace, Buddha Avatar. And final, the Kalki Avatar, he will come to destroy all the evil spirit, those who want to destroy the knowledge and peace. So these 10 avatars we have from 9th century, the sculptural evidences. Thank you. Thank you. Lord Chaitanya Deva was the ardent lover of this Gita Govindam, and he toured all over India with this Gita Govindam, carried with him, and spread it in Kerala, in Manipur, and so many places, and Vrindavan, everywhere. So the Jayadevas from Bengal, Chaitanya Deva from Bengal, they have toured with that, this Dashavatar. Tonight we are going to present the last, our items is Dashavatar, and it will be followed by Dashanritya from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad for the piece. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. On behalf of Gauriya Nritya Bharati, we are again thankful to South Asian Institute for Advanced Research and Development.
সাউন্ডটা কি করছে বলো তো?
Let me introduce all the members of Gauriya Nritya Bharati. Nayanika Chatterjee, Junior National Scholarship holder of Gauriya Nritya. The next one, Shohili Pal, Senior National Scholarship recipient of Senior National Scholarship from Ministry of Culture, Government of India on Gauriya Nritya. Next, Ritika Dash. Next one, Onkita Dash. Then Monikiran Dattagupta, also a Senior National Scholarship holder on Gauriya Nritya from Ministry of Culture. Again, Junior National Scholarship holder, Premankita Roy. Onusri Rai. Vidisha Ganguly, also a Junior National Scholarship holder. Then Shamurpon Shendupto, recipient of Junior National Scholarship on Gauriya Nritya. Again, Joyanta Bishas, another recipient of Senior National Scholarship on Gauriya Nritya. And the last one, he also received Senior National Scholarship, and last year he received Junior National Fellowship on Gauriya Nritya. He is now doing research and has completed his research on Gauriya Nritya under my supervision, Shomo Bhumi. Now I want to introduce the background music director whose voice you have heard the period, this Pavithamita Mukherjee. He is the researcher of this Gauriya song. And I am Mohua Mukherjee. They are all my students. Thank you so much. It's a wonderful audience. We are overwhelmed and inspired. Thank you.
Chao ti tin ta khét ta ta hô ti tin ta khét ta ya hô ti tin ta khét ta tin rất khét ta khét ta ya hô ti tin ta khét ta hô ti tin ta khét ta ya hô ti tin ta khét ta tin rất khét ta khét ta. Namaskar.
What a wonderful performance. Such lovely performance. Can we have a big round of applause for them, everybody? Yeah, right. I'd like to request Gauriya Nritya Bharati and team to stay up on stage for a moment. We cannot just leave them like this. We would like to request Dr. Aparna Bera Roy Chaudhary to come up on stage and felicitate them with a small token of gratitude and appreciation. Ma'am, please come up on stage. And I request our team to bring the mementos. Now it's time for the memento. That was really amazing, everybody. Thank you so much for performing here. Thank you. So, with that, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of the first day of our 3 days International River Congress. We are honored and much privileged with your glorious presence tonight. We really hope that you have enjoyed our today's session. So one last time, from the entire organizing committee of South Asian Institute for Advanced Research and Development, we thank you for being a part of this evening. This is Antra.
So Devajyoti, and we would also like to invite you for the gala dinner, which is held just beside the hall.
Yes, we are signing off today and we are going to see you tomorrow. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and good night. Thank you.